I call upon the spirit of the owl, messenger of wisdom. Welcome to the Temple of the Owl. Merry meet seekers of knowledge. I'm your host, Matt Sal. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day today. Sending you guys some good vibes and positivity your way if you need it out there. Here at the Temple of the Owl, located deep in the forests of Northern California. In this episode, we will discuss dreams. This is where we talk about magic and spirituality on all levels, but it's through the perspective of a modern witch. As always, these are just ideas to help you live a magical life and think about things differently. Take the information and do what you want. Enter the gates and explore my massive library. Preserving the knowledge is my first priority, and I want to share it with you. Throughout the years, I've learned that there's more to this world than we can see, and I was driven to find as much information about the unseen as I could. That journey led me to the religion of witchcraft and the exploration of magic and ancient wisdom. Thank you guys for listening and your support. Check out templeoftheowl.com. Also, thank you for listening on the Troubled Minds Radio Network, KUAP Digital Broadcasting. So I'd like to start the show with what I call the MOD, or the message of the day. And it's a quote I find that helps me explain the show topic. And since tonight we're talking about dreams and why it's important to witchcraft. And today's quote is, "Every dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember, you have within you the strength and the patience and the passion to reach for the stars, to change the world." And that's from Harriet Tubman. And I found that quote, I really like that because I like how it starts off. Every dream begins with a dreamer, and we are the dreamers. So tonight, we enter one of the oldest mysteries known to humankind, with dreams. Imagine lying down to sleep. Your body goes still, your breathing slows, and your conscious mind quietly slips into the darkness. Then another world awakens. You find yourself walking through forgotten cities, speaking with people who died centuries ago, and flying through impossible skies. What are dreams? Are they simply electrical pulses in our brain? Are they messages from our subconsciousness? Or have witches, mystics, and shamans been not right all along? That dreams are doorways to the spirit world. Tonight we'll explore some of the history and the psychology. Now, long before science tried to explain dreams, every civilization believed that they were sacred. The ancient Egyptians believed dreams were messages from the gods. Priests interpreted dreams for kings and common people alike. People even slept inside temples, hoping a deity would appear during the night with guidance or healing. And they had these dream temples. In Mesopotamia, kings consulted dream interpreters before battles. The Greeks believed dreams were sent by divine beings. At the healing temples, people practiced dream incubation. They slept within the temple, expecting the god to reveal cures for illnesses through dreams. Many ancient societies considered dreams every bit as real as waking life. As we explore dreams through the lens of witchcraft, we cannot overlook one of the greatest figures in Celtic mythology, the Dogda, whose name is often translated as the good god or the good father. He was one of the chief deities of the Tuatha De Danann. He was a god of wisdom, abundance, and magic. He carried a mighty club that could both kill and restore life, and he possessed an endless cauldron that never ran empty. He also played a magical harp, and he can control the senses and stir human emotion. The surviving Irish myths don't tell us of famous prophetic dreams experienced by the Dogda himself, but they do portray him as a keeper of hidden knowledge and a guide between the human world and the mysteries. In the other world is a realm what many modern witches associate with visions, intuition, and dreamlike journeys. In Celtic belief, the boundary between the world and the other world was thin during sacred festivals such as Samhain. It was believed that the spirits, the ancestors, and the Seath, the fairy folk, could cross the veil, and dreams were sometimes viewed as a way that this veil could open, allowing the wisdom to pass between the worlds. One of Dagda's most famous stories occurs before the second battle of Magtared. On the eve of the battle, he meets the goddess Morgan beside a river. Their union is symbolic, representing the joining of wisdom and the fate before the great turning point in history. The Morgan gives Dagda a prophecy of victory, foretelling his defeat of the Formians. Although this prophecy is not delivered through a dream, it reflects something that we have recognized for centuries. Profound insight often arrives during altered states of consciousness, whether it's meditation, trance, ritual, or dreams. Moments of deep intuition can reveal truths that ordinary awareness may overlook. Other Celtic stories tell the hero's journey, the land of eternal youth, the Tír na nÓg. The time flows differently there. A traveler may believe a single night has passed, only to awaken to discover that decades or even centuries have slipped away in the waking world. These stories are remarkably similar to dreams, where minutes can feel like years, or impossible landscapes feel completely real. Modern witches look at the Dagda as a guide for inner wisdom rather than fortune-telling. His lessons remind us that true magic isn't always about predicting the future. It's about understanding ourselves more deeply. And when we dream, perhaps we're doing something that the ancient Celts understood very well. Stepping across a threshold, not merely into sleep, but into a place where symbols speak louder than words, and ancestors can walk beside us. The subconscious mind may reveal truths that daylight keeps hidden. In that sense, every dream becomes a journey into our own other world, and the Dagda, the wise keeper of abundance and ancient knowledge, reminds us to return with the wisdom that we find. Now let's travel from the Celtic lands of Ireland to the cliffs of Maui in the West Africa, home of the Dogon people. The Dogon have fascinated anthropologists, historians, and spiritual seekers for decades because of their rich mythology, complex cosmology, and deep reverence for the unseen world. For the Dogon, dreams were not merely random images created by a sleeping brain. The dreams can be understood as a meeting place between the living and the ancestors, the spiritual forces that guide community. The Dogon believe that human beings are more than just a physical body. Life includes visible and invisible dimensions, and while we sleep, these boundaries can become more permeable. Dreams may carry guidance and warnings, or messages from deceased family members and revered ancestors. Among the Dogon, the elders and spiritual specialists long paid attention to significant dreams. Not only were they treated as prophetic, but usually vivid dreams, especially those involving ancestors, sacred animals, or important community events. They might be discussed and interpreted with their cultural religions and traditions. One recurring theme of the Dogon spiritually is that wisdom comes through listening. Sometimes listening happens during ceremonies, sometimes through careful observation of nature, and sometimes during sleep. A dream could encourage someone to repair their broken relationship, or prepare for an important event, perform a ritual honoring their ancestors. The value of the dream was not simply predicting the future, but restoring balance to the individual, the community, or nature. Many people have heard extraordinary claims that the Dogon possessed secret astronomical knowledge about the star Sirius, thousands of years before modern telescopes. According to the popular stories, celestial beings called the Nomo descended from the heavens and shared advanced knowledge with humanity. These stories become widely known in the 20th century through books and documentaries. For the Dogon, and for many witches today, dreams can become opportunities for reflection rather than prophecy. A dream asks us to pause, to listen, and to consider whether our ancestors or our subconscious mind, even our own inner wisdom, may be trying to teach us something. As witches, this perspective is deeply familiar. We keep dream journals, we meditate on the symbols, and we seek patterns instead of certainty. The Dogon remind us that dreams are they're not simply stories that we forget when we are awake. They're conversations, sometimes with ourselves, and sometimes with those who come before us. Perhaps some of these mysteries we've only begun to understand. Some of history's most famous dreams come from the Bible. Joseph interpreted Pharaoh's dream of 7 fat cows and 7 thin cows. The dream predicted 7 years of abundance, followed by 7 years of famine. Because Joseph understood its symbolism, Egypt prepared and survived. Later, another Joseph, the earthly father of Jesus, is warned through dreams to flee Egypt. Throughout Scripture, dreams often become divine messages rather than random imagination. Now, modern witches see dreams as one of the easiest forms of divination. Why? Because while we sleep, the conscious mind, the part that constantly analyzes everything, finally becomes quiet. The subconscious begins speaking through symbols instead of words. And many witches keep a dream journal beside their bed. The moment they wake, they record every detail, even fragments, colors, emotions, animals, numbers, and the moon phases. Because over time, when the patterns emerge, dreams can become conversations with yourself, or perhaps something greater. Now, Carl Jung believed that dreams revealed deeper layers of the human psyche. He introduced the idea of archetypes, the wise old men, the shadow, the great mother, the child, the hero. These symbolic figures appear across cultures because they belong to what Jung called the collective unconsciousness. Interesting though, many of the archetypes are also found in witchcraft. The crone, the maiden, the mother, the hunter, the green man, and the magician. Dreams often become mirrors, reflecting our spiritual journey. And throughout history, countless people have claimed to experience dreams that predicted future events. Abraham Lincoln reportedly dreamed of his own funeral before his assassination. Many survivors of disaster have spoken of unsettling dreams, warning them about travel. And some ignored them, but others listened. Whether coincidence or genuine intuition remains debated. In many magical traditions, these are called prophetic dreams. Not every dream predicts the future, but some dreams feel different. They're usually vivid, deeply emotional, and impossible to forget. Sometimes they repeat night after night until the message is understood. Now, many witches believe these dreams deserve special attention, and one of the most famous stories of prophetic dreams in American history involves President Abraham Lincoln. For centuries, people have wondered whether dreams can warn us about the future. Most dreams fade by morning, but every so often someone experiences a dream so vivid and so emotionally powerful that they never forget it. According to his friends and associates, Lincoln experienced several unusual dreams throughout his life. He took them seriously, not necessarily as supernatural messages, but as experiences worthy of reflection. The most famous occurred only days before his assassination. As the story goes, Lincoln woke one morning and he was disturbed. He told his wife later that he shared a dream with several members of his cabinet and close friends. In the dream, he wandered through the White House. Everything was strangely quiet. He heard the sound of people weeping, and he walked into the room until he reached the East Room. There, surrounded by soldiers and mourners, rested a coffin. Lincoln asked one of the guards, "Who is dead in the White House?" The soldier replied, "The president. He was killed by an assassin." At that moment, Lincoln awoke. Only a few days later, on April 14, 1865, while attending a performance at the Ford's Theater, Abraham Lincoln was shot by John Wilkes Booth, and he died the following morning. The dream became one of history's most enduring examples of apparent premonition. And how do you explain that? Some people believe it was a genuine prophetic dream. Others suggest that Lincoln's subconsciousness recognized the danger surrounding him. By 1865, he had received numerous death threats. The Civil War was ending. Emotions across the country were running high, and he understood that many people wanted him dead. Perhaps his sleeping mind simply assembled those fears into a symbolic vision, or something about the dreams that science has not fully explained. Lincoln kept experiencing other dreams throughout the Civil War. He saw patterns. Now, not every dream predicts the future, but most do not. Occasionally, a dream feels different, and it stays with us. So it's important that we keep a dream journal and reflect on recurring symbols and notice emotions. Dreams rarely speak literally. Instead, they use symbols. Water represents emotion, fire can symbolize transformation or purification, and owls frequently represent wisdom, hidden knowledge. There's things like snakes may symbolize healing, rebirth, awakening. All these different kinds of things that you can get these dream books that interpret these dreams, like doors can symbolize opportunity, keys symbolize knowledge, the moon represents intuition, and the sun symbolizes consciousness. Some witches intentionally practice lucid dreaming. Now, this occurs when you become aware while you're dreaming and still asleep. Some people learn to control the dream. Others use lucid dreams for meditation, meeting spirit guides. Dreams don't always reveal messages. They can strengthen magic. Not every dream is pleasant. Nightmares often reveal unresolved trauma, stress, and fear, or aspects of ourselves that we've hidden. Rather than fearing nightmares, many witches choose to work with them. The shadow deserves compassion, and healing begins by facing what frightens us. Even terrifying dreams can become teachers. Now, I do recommend everyone keep a dream journal. Keep the book by your bed, and when you wake up, just start writing. Don't judge, don't analyze it, just record it. As we come to the end of tonight's journey, I'd like to leave you guys with a simple ritual you could try before going to bed. It's not about forcing dreams or predicting the future. It's about creating a space for your subconscious to speak. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. And if you choose to light a candle, just make sure that it's fire safe. You could also use different kinds of light. Lavender has long been associated with relaxation and restful sleep. If we're considering using any of these things, just make sure that you're safe. Take slow breaths in and out. Picture silver moonlight surrounding your body, filling you with peace and protection. As your breathing becomes steady, silently repeat these words. Tonight, I welcome peaceful sleep. I open my mind to wisdom. May my dreams bring insight, healing, and understanding. May I remember what serves my highest good. When I awaken, I will recall the messages my subconsciousness is ready to reveal. Now allow these words to settle into your mind. Place the notebook or dream journal beside your bed with a pen, and tomorrow morning, don't rush to your phone or jump out of bed. Just sit still for a few moments and ask yourself, what was I feeling? Who was there? What symbols stood out? What lesson might this dream be trying to teach me? Write everything down that you remember, even if it's only a single color or a word or an emotion. Over time, these small fragments may become patterns. Those patterns become understanding, and understanding becomes wisdom. So may your sleep be peaceful, and may your dreams be meaningful. May your journey through the unseen continue long after your eyes have closed. Thank you guys for joining me here in the Temple of the Owl. If you guys enjoyed today's journey into dreams, consider sharing your own experiences in the comments. Have you guys ever had a prophetic dream? Have you ever met a mysterious figure in your sleep? Visited a place that you've never been before? Or awakened with a message that changed your life? I want to hear you guys' stories. Well, I do like talking about dreams. I think it's important that we remember our dreams and that we record our dreams and we tell these stories. So I'm thinking about doing maybe a second part of this where I'll tell some of my dreams and talk about this. But I wanted to just get some of the stuff out here about dreams especially because recently we've had an event that is making me and a lot of other people have more dreams. So I want to talk about that. Talking about the CERN shutting down recently and how our dreams are being affected by it. Well, I want to share those ideas with you guys. Maybe we'll do more dream stuff later on, but I think it's important that we talk about our dreams and that we try to understand them. So hopefully this helps you guys maybe think about dreams differently or want to dive into dreams or talk about your dreams more. But I want to thank you guys for listening. Until next time, just continue seeking knowledge and keep questioning, keep exploring the mysteries. Well, thank you guys for listening. Check out templeoftheowl.com. And also thank you guys for listening on KUAP Digital Broadcasting. That's the Troubled Minds Radio Network. Thank you guys for listening. Release the spirit of the owl. My name is Matt's Owl. Thank you for journeying the Temple of the Owl. Blessed be.